One day, while browsing the internet, Ella came across a news article about a group of explorers who had gone missing in an abandoned hospital. The article included a photo of the hospital's corridor, and as soon as Ella saw it, she knew that it was the same one from her nightmare. The article mentioned that the search for the missing explorers had been called off due to the dangerous conditions of the hospital. Ella couldn't stop thinking about the missing explorers and the shadowed corridor. She felt a responsibility to do something to help bring closure to their families and to make sure that no one else ever entered that hospital again. So she made a decision to go there herself, to face her fears and uncover the truth. The drive to the hospital was long and treacherous, with winding roads and steep cliffs that made Ella's stomach churn. As she approached the hospital, she felt a sense of dread wash over her. The building was even more imposing than she remembered, with broken windows and crumbling walls. She took a deep breath and entered. The inside of the hospital was just as eerie as Ella remembered. The air was thick with dust, and the sound of her footsteps echoed down the empty halls. She made her way through the dark, winding corridors, her heart racing with each step. As she turned a corner, Ella froze. There in the distance was the shadowed corridor. It was just as she remembered it, with the flickering lights and the ominous feeling that something was watching her. She knew that she had to face her fears and investigate. Slowly she made her way down the corridor, her footsteps echoing off the walls. She could feel her heart pounding in her chest, and she struggled to keep her breathing steady. The flickering lights cast strange shadows on the walls, and the air grew colder with each step. As she reached the end of the corridor, Ella's heart sank. There was nothing there, no sign of the missing explorers or any evidence of foul play. She felt a wave of disappointment wash over her, but also a sense of relief that she could finally put the shadowed corridor behind her. Just as she turned to leave, Ella heard a noise behind her. She spun around, but there was nothing there. She shrugged it off and continued down the corridor, but the noise grew louder and more persistent. Suddenly she felt something brush against her arm, and she whirled around to face the shadowy figure that had haunted her nightmares for years. The figure was just as terrifying as she remembered, with glowing eyes and a shapeless form that seemed to be made of darkness. It reached out to her, and Ella could feel its cold, clammy fingers brush against her skin. She tried to run, but her legs wouldn't move. She was trapped, and she knew that this time she wouldn't escape. As the figure closed in on her, Ella realized that she had made a fatal mistake. She had come back to the hospital hoping to find closure, but instead she had sealed her own fate. The shadowed corridor had claimed another victim, and Ella knew that she would never leave this place alive.